Lavoie.
All right, guys, welcome to the Relentless Podcast. Today I have a special guest from Connecticut. I have Mark LeVoy from AWS.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for having us on the show.
Absolutely.
And having me on. Appreciate it.
For sure. So I met Mark and a group of great people at this mastermind event we had in St. Pete, Florida. I believe it was in January.
Yep. Yeah.
And I got to tell you, like, for me, the cool thing was, going into that event, I've really been to a million different events. This one was a little different because I felt like the people, when I went there, I fit in. You know what I mean? Because I am crazy, Mark, I'll tell you. I'm a little crazy.
He's crazy. That's what I love about Sam. He's crazy. So.
I come up with different ideas and I run with it and we execute. And once it works, it's like, hey, we dialed in on a system and you can build stuff around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about your upbringing, how you came here, how you got to where you are.
Well, we're family owned and operated home improvement company. We do windows, doors, shower, bath. My father started the company back in 1978 out of a house. So it was really a one-man stand, show. He did everything. He went door to door. He would sell the jobs, measure them, order them. From there, he grew the organization. We started manufacturing our own products. We eventually outgrew that, and then we got into shower bath division, and the rest is history. We went from out of the house to becoming one of the top 500 companies in the country as far as home improvement. And I started with my dad 27 years ago now. I started in the manufacturing end, so I made the windows. I helped to install them. I did in-home sales for about 17 years. Started running the company about 10 years ago, and then took it over 5 years ago. So
that's awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and now we're actually on third generation. I got my daughter into business, so she's in our finance department as our finance coordinator. So
that's amazing.
It's great to be able to pass that down. So it was great, working with my father, and now I'm glad I get to work with my daughter. So
that's actually amazing.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. I didn't know that your daughter was starting to get involved with the business.
Yeah,
super cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
So along the journey, obviously your dad. And again, I want to show you too. So I have on my phone always. I always call it the replacement ladder. Right? So anytime I do any type of business or anything, I kind of look back to this ladder, and you always start at the bottom, you work your way up. But in the beginning, you're everything, right? You're the admin because you're taking the calls, you're typing the estimates, you're doing the booking, you're delivery because you're getting the job done. You're doing the marketing because, hey, if that phone ain't ringing, you ain't making any money.
Yeah.
You're going out there and you're doing the sales. And then once you get that, and need leadership, right? Once you have employees under you. So you kind of got to, number one, do it for yourself. And then work your way up and then start replacing those people. And then once you have that system built out, that's when you build a team. And once you have that team built out and you have your kids, that's like a legacy.
Well, and I think that's like the hardest, the hardest thing is transitioning from working in the business to on the business. And that's what you're talking about is like, to start to separate out. Before it's like three people in the office, everyone doing everything, right? And then now you got to break that into different divisions and departments, and you start putting leaders into place. And I think that is one of the toughest transitions when you're starting to build out, put those leaders in place, put the team in place.
Sure.
So
sure.
For sure.
What have you found some struggles in business with certain things like that? Because again, finding the help is great, but then being able to delegate them properly is another part of it, and then making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, setting those expectations.
Yeah, well, you have to be very clear as far as what your KPIs are, what your key responsibilities are, and again, really finding the right people. You got to find the right people for the right seat. If you have someone that's not in there, and actually, it's funny because originally when my daughter started, she wanted to come into the business. She asked me, can I work in the business? And I'm like, well, yes, I would love that because, that's absolutely what I'd like to see, the path follow. Mm-hmm. And but I put her in our marketing and helping out with recruiting, and it wasn't the right seat for her.
Sure.
And finance is what she went to school for. So when this position opened up, I put her there, and now she's thriving. So, and it's like that in the leadership, right? So when you start breaking up your leaders, it's, finding the right people that fit in that seat, giving clear KPIs, key responsibilities. So everyone has a very clear as far as what their role is.
Absolutely.
What they're there to execute.
Yeah.
So for sure.
So I think, what you did as an owner, entrepreneurial, experience. You put her in what you wanted, right? You wanted her in a marketing position.
Well, you know what? That was the only available position. I was just trying to get her in business.
Oh, yeah. So, because I thought, I needed this done, so I put this person in position and see if it worked. And when it didn't, naturally, they found what they're good at and what they like to do and what they're going to excel in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've done that a million times. I brought people in originally as something on the more on the admin side, and then they turned out being better in the field with that leadership management experience. And that was one of the things I learned earlier, and vice versa.
Yeah.
How I got to do the work, and I realized, hey, he's pretty good at the work, but he's definitely a little slow. However, that attention to detail is what I need for him to implement into the staff for us all to grow and for customers to be happy. Because again, client experience is number one. Right? You got everything else going, but if you don't have a client experience, you're not going to grow and you're not going to make any money.
Well, that's it. Well, that's why too, when, once you got to get those processes and systems in place so you can consistently deliver an amazing experience to the customer, because that's what it's all about.
Sure.
You want to deliver a great experience and go above and really beyond their expectations. So,
absolutely.
And what happens is, when you start to separate, you talk about like challenges, right? So when you start to separate out and you got these different departments and everything else, is really then building out your processes and systems within those departments.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely a challenge. So, but it's been a great journey, and it's the challenges help us grow, and that's what we've been doing through the years.
Oh yeah. So what systems do you currently use and like, and what systems did you use that you didn't like to save some of these young contractors coming up, or see some of these old contractors, maybe they can get better to avoid? Because I know, just like me, I've been through them all. Some of them work great, some of them not so great. You find something in
CRM?
CRM.
Okay. Well, if I had to say, the CRM, if you really want to expand it out, and our vision is to be the most trusted, largest family-owned home improvement company in America. So we look at, what are the systems that we can put in place that can allow us to expand out, throughout the country. One of the ones that we currently change over to right now is i360. It's based from Salesforce, so it's a Salesforce based platform, and i360 took it and built it out for home improvement companies, and we are just changing over, and it really is, the capability of what it can do is amazing. So that's one. Also too, for call center, Five9 is another great program, so that you can do that can get your calls into cadences, so you can have calling queues, things like that. So once you start breaking up again those departments for home improvement, they're pretty much all the same, right? We got marketing. We got to put money into marketing, create the sales. We have our operations, production, gear, service and warranty, finance, and office, right? So those are all the gears of the business. Oh yeah. So it's like you got to find the systems or those CRMs and the different systems that work in all those different areas. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's two of them. And then obviously for sales, you want some type of in-home, program that you can do. Like we use iPads, so we're on iPads and we have it all programmed out. So we come out, pricing's in there, and we can price it out quickly, draw up the contracts simply. So having those tools, you got to have the right tools and right, tech stack.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What are you doing for in-home sales? Like a Salesforce, like a Leap?
We do a Leap.
Leap, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we do Leap.
Easy to use, easy to control.
Easy to use. It's a little bit work up front building it out, but once you build it out, then you have everything in there, and after that, it's easy.
Now, did you build that out yourself, or did you hire somebody else out for that?
I helped to build it out. We had someone in-house that built it out that was very technical, that was able to do that. So, but companies like that too, hand in hand, they'll work with you and they'll help to build it out.
That's great
as well.
That's great.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So now your company, obviously you went back to, it's pretty neat that you went from actually on the install manufacturing, the Windows side.
Yeah.
Right. To the sales and marketing entrepreneurial side there. What were the differences or issues you had there that you thought were big that weren't really so big once you got over those problems?
Well, on the manufacturing end, there's a lot of complexity. And what we started doing, we started manufacturing, and we were actually installing as well, and doing the marketing and selling and all of it.
Sure.
But the complexity of having both of those, right? It's like kind of two separate businesses.
Yeah.
So we decided where, a quote that I love is where focus goes, energy flows. So we took the focus and decided, you know what, we're really great at marketing and sales. Let's put our focus into this. Let's get a manufacturer that can give us exclusive product, and let's just hone in on that part of the business, and we did that, and that's really what helped us to grow. But we also had some great experience because we had great experience from the manufacturer. They gave us a lot of insights about the industry. So,
so obviously you gained a lot more time to be able to focus on the business, to grow the business on the customer experience side.
Exactly, that's it.
What do you think, if anything, taking the manufacturing side away, did you lose some kind of control over when the window production, or has that not really been a factor? Because these things are real.
I mean, it is a factor. We do have great manufacturers that the quality is there. I mean, it is. You do have to find the right manufacturers,
sure,
right? And you do lose that control when you're not manufacturing it yourself, because obviously when you're making it, then our standard is high, so
sure,
right, we make sure that everything's perfect. But yeah, if you find the right, and I think you have to have the right, the right connections, right,
sure,
the right networks. So you want to have partnerships. Mm-hmm. So you got to have the right partnerships, partner up with the right manufacturers that align with your vision and the culture and what you want to offer.
Absolutely. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I guess revenue-wise, where you're at, we don't need to know what you need, but where do you look to go? Like, where do you look to grow? Like, what's a happy saying, hey, if I do this year, if I do this in 3 years, if I do this in 10 years, what does that look like to you?
Well, you know what, I'll give you a little bit of our past, I guess. We started off, going from, couple $1 million company, from 2003 to almost 2016. There was a good period there, 2006 to 2013, 14, where we stayed the same at like 2-3 million. And then we started doing different things. We started changing things up, and we then in 2021 went to over 10 million, and now we're on our way to over 20. And in 6 to 7 years, we like to see 100 million and spread out through New England.
Yeah.
It is the vision and what we're doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
So perfect example, because I know a lot of people are in that $2 million to say $3 or $4 million.
Yeah.
The struggle you have there, between that, what kind of struggles did you have there even to get off of that? Like, hey, I got to change things, because again, it was still working at that 2 or 3 million. Like, you're still making money, and a lot of it. But then once you start to scale, you start to see some of the money wasn't there that what you used to do, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it gets nervous, and you got to either back down, which a lot of people do, or you go fully all in and go, I'm going to work through this hump and get to the next step. So tell me about that, because that's like the hard part, because everyone thinks it's easy. It's definitely not.
It is not. That's, what, I'll tell you, I was told this many years ago, the two biggest, challenges is one, getting to the 10 million mark, and the next is the 20.
Yep.
And, after you get over that, it's like, for whatever reason, things start to scale up a lot quicker after that.
Sure.
So the going from that couple million to like 10 million is really what we're talking about. It's putting the people in place. And the problem is that now you got to put managers in place. You have to, pay bigger salaries. You got all this stuff. So, there was a moment in time where, I had this vision of growing, right? And I want to grow the company to, infinity here. And I had my mom was our accountant. My dad was there, and I started to kind of take it over at that point. And I'm like, hey, we got to divide, we got to break up into departments. We got to put managers and leaders in place. And when we started doing that, it was like, my mom's like, what are you doing? We're going to go broke, Like,
it's a real thing. It's scary.
It is. It's a scary. It was, I would say, one of the most scary points in our business, because it was that growth moment where we had to overcome this massive challenge. And I think that's where a lot of companies from 0 to 5, you can go with kind of everyone doing everything. But once you go to 5 to 10, now it's like, all right, you got to have teams. You got to start getting leaders, and you got to have teams and everything else.
Absolutely.
So that's really, that was one of the biggest challenges. And then the challenge to get to the 20 million, and now that's a different challenge. The challenge I would say there is now all the systems and processes you put in place. It's like you have to really make sure all your systems processes are solid, and you have to tighten up every single system and process that you have within the organization.
Yep.
And again, make sure you have the right leaders and people in place.
Oh yeah, because people could definitely bring you up, but they could very quickly take you down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if that foundation isn't strong, and you don't have checks and balances with the KPIs built in with the system of setting the bar of expectation, and then following through. If you don't have those things all tightened up, you're done.
Yeah.
It's might as well just cut it loose now, because you're going to fall. That's why you have to stay on top of things until you get where you want to be. And that's one of those things, with you, I see it, it's never enough. And that's like in the back of your head, like, hey, I did it. I don't care. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. I want to do it better. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're not stopping, Sam. Never stopping.
No, that's great.
When you green, you grow. When you ripe, you rock.
That's it.
And that's it, man.
That's it. I roll with it every single day.
We are growing.
Oh, yeah.
We're growing.
Definitely. I like everything that you had to say here. So now for your employees, to help them grow, and even your life, in that 3 to 5 to 10, what does forget about the business part, what do you see your life looking like? Like what's different, if anything? Because I can tell you, just for me, I don't see anything different than I'm doing now.
No.
Because I love doing it, and I can't get out of it, and I love doing it. So it's like, hey, what do you want to do in your spare time? Well, I was thinking about reading this book. We were like, well, read a book. What do you want to do that for? Like, it's pretty fun. Like, you do this, and I drive everybody crazy. But at the end of the day, when it starts going like this, and you start to see that thing that start to work, then it's like, I told you so.
Man, yeah. Well, you know what? I love what I do.
Yeah.
And truly, I think the biggest shift is when you start, trying to help other people grow.
Yes.
And you start trying to help other people become successful and unlock their potential. That's stuff that I just love. And I love the fact with the business, every single time we grow, we are unlocking more potential. We are creating leaders. We are giving more people opportunity. And I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's that's really what I love. Home improvement just happens to be home improvement is what we do, and but it's helping the people within the team, creating those opportunities and having a positive impact into the community. So there's nothing more that I love doing than what I do, and
Absolutely.
I want to continue to just do that. And very grateful and blessed for having that the path and being being part of it.
So everything you say, like I feel so, like in going to that mastermind and meeting those people and hearing what they say, like I relate 150%. And I'll be honest with you, I've never done that before, because I really kind of stayed to myself in New Jersey. I was like a hermit crab. I never really went out. And now that I'm starting to come out of my shell a little bit, and I'm out of my shell here a lot, right? But
out of your shell? Who are you kidding, Tim? Out of his shell, man. That's I can imagine that you're always out of your shell.
I always get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's my I live my life by that, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's funny. I went to a seminar one time. The guy said that he created this amazing business. He said, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Because that's where the growth happens. Right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And then when you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you can help other people grow, and you see that's like, oh my God, look what we're doing. You know what I mean? And unlocking the potential. That's a great way to put it. I never really said it that way, but that's probably the best statement to say that way. Because again, once you start seeing them grow, and they're like, oh my God, I did it. Because at first, like, oh, I never done that. Like this week.
Absolutely.
I had 4 appointments in 3 hours, and they're not used to that, but I used to do that in my sleep, right? Because again, I did it all. So when the guy on Monday goes,
that's the same thing here, man. I used to run 3, 4, 5, whatever it was.
But I kept. They were all over the place. So they were going to North Jersey. But I'm like, hey, let me keep it in the same geographic location, and I'll ride with it. I said, watch, we're going to do it. He's like, there's no way we're going to do it. I said, no, we're going to do it. You're going to see. And we did it, and it was one of his great days. So that was something where, again, it's one of those deals where they never did it before, so they think they can't have it done. Steve Harvey said it best when he did it with the flea. I don't know if you ever see the flea scenario.
I never
so what he says is this: look, a flea gets put into a jar. right? A male flea and a female flea. And he starts jumping, and say that the jar is 8 inches.
Yeah.
And he hits his head at the top of that 8 inches. Eventually, he's going to stop jumping 8 inches. He's going to do 7 feet, 3/4 inches, right?
Yeah.
He's going to make sure he jumps just high enough so he doesn't hurt himself, right? Then, the flea, they have babies, and the babies start to, jump. And then they start to jump, right? And they do the same thing that their parents do because that's what they were taught. And they don't want to hurt their head.
Yeah.
But then you get this one crazy flea, and his name's Mark LeVoy, right? And he starts jumping, and he starts hitting his head. And he goes, "No, I'm going to break through it." And all of a sudden, he breaks through that top of that layer, top of that 8 inches, and he's able to jump to 54 inches.
Yeah.
Why? Because he doesn't listen to anyone else. He's going to think outside the box and push through. That's the flea I want to be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Same here, and that's a flea that I want to be as well.
Absolutely.
So, you got to shoot for the moon. If you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land amongst the stars.
That's right.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go big.
And go hard every single day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
Mark, what else you want to tell the young following in business and life that they could kind of take with them and understand, like, this is something that happens and you just got to deal with it and push through?
You know what? Again, I think it really comes down to you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's really where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens. So every day, you got to push yourself and get yourself out of your comfort zone. And I think you just have to continue to be pushed forward. You got to be relentless.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to be relentless, and you never give up. You have to have faith. Be relentless. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and things start to unfold, and things start to come your way, and things start to get brought to you, or you start to see things. So it's really, those are the key tools.
Absolutely.
And have a clear vision of where you're going. You got to have that clear vision of where you want to go, and then you take all those tools, the relentlessness and persistence and never giving up and faith and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's when things start to happen. And that's that flea that is jumping 54 inches, right?
Get it done.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So what area do you cover your business right now?
We cover all of Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Got it.
Is where we cover.
Got it. So contractors, homeowners, soon-to-be homeowners, I definitely want you to check out his social media. His presence in the community has been going on for years. His social media is just getting started, so I want you to follow him. I want you to follow him because guess what? If you need somebody that's trustworthy, who cares about the client experience, cares about his employees, cares about growth and making sure that your house is happy, not just when you do the install, long term, I want you to follow this man right here because he's a true leader. He's a great person. So what's a good way to get a hold of you, and what's your social media? What's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Best way, you can go online. Our website, www.advancedwindowsystems.com, or, we have, you can, obviously phone number, 860-829-8044. Give us a ring, go online, and we're more than happy to help you out.
You got it. Mark, again, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, man.
And
Thank
continue
you for
to do your thing.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Cool.
Awesome.